Out this morning on some public land doing some scouting. Going to drop some mineral locks. And here in South Carolina, it's legal to put mineral and salt on public land. And I found something that I've never seen in all my times in the woods. A lot of folks hunt for these and eat them. It's called a morel mushroom. A lot of people go out in the woods and look for those, and supposedly you can cook them up. They're supposed to be good, but I think that one's seen its better days. I'm going to keep on heading down to the first spot, and we'll drop a block. And by the way, I'm freezing. Yesterday it was in the 70s, and I woke up this morning and it was like 39 degrees, and I didn't bring a coat, so I'm in a t-shirt out here, freezing my butt off. Okay, I found my first spot where I want to drop the block, and found a good tree to set up the stand ends. We got a really good, pretty well worn path coming across this ditch here where they're crossing and jumping. They come across the creek, and then there's a path here going up the hill. And what we'll do is I got a tree picked out up there. I'll put my stand in, and I'm going to go about 10 to 15 yards out in front of that. I found a level place. I'm going to set the block, and we'll go up and put that in the ground now. I'll show you where that'll be. Now this isn't anything fancy, it's just a simple trace mineral block. I think a little 5-pounder that you can get for like goats and put in the pasture for them. But this is just salt and trace minerals, and the deer will initially lick it for the sweet flavor or the flavor of the salt that's on it. But the benefit of the minerals will help them with bone growth and antler growth. So it's really beneficial for them as long as it doesn't have copper in it. You got to make sure you don't get a mineral block with copper, because it's not healthy for deer. They can't process it very well. Well, we got the first spot done. Now we got to go about a 1/4 mile north along a ridge, drop down into a creek bottom, and then up on a little finger that sticks off of another ridge that runs southwest, northeast, and set up another one. And then I just had a pretty good startle. I was walking up the side of this ridge, and apparently not many people walk along here, because there was a turkey hen like nested right here on the side of the hill, and I walked up within like 10 feet of her before she jumped up and flew off. Lost a bunch of feathers as she was flying off. But I would imagine she's got a nest in here somewhere, but definitely woke me up. Well, yeah, I told you about the turkey. I was standing on the other side of this tree right here. I walked up above it and looked down at the base. And where are we at? Right here is a nest of turkey eggs. Wild turkey eggs, not something that you see every day. That's pretty cool. Okay, made it to the second spot. It's off a little finger coming off of a ridge that runs northeast southwest. Faces the east mostly, which will set it up for a good southeast or easterly wind. You'll be able to set up here in one of these trees. I got a nice one picked out right here for a tree stand, and there's a trail here that runs across this point out along the ridge, parallels the ridge, it's got some tracks in it now. It looks like it probably gets hammered really heavy in the fall because it's kind of cut down into the dirt, but it's not getting a whole lot of travel right now, but there are some tracks in it. So I'm hoping that, you know, when the food changes and we roll into the season for the white oaks and they start grazing, spending more time in the woods, that this path's going to get a little more traffic. So about 99% mission complete. Got both the blocks in. Did a little scouting on the way out to a gravel road that leads back to where we parked the car. And I'll be back in here again probably in a couple more weeks. See if we can get in here and do a little more scouting before it gets too green and too hot. But probably in about 3 or 4 weeks it'll be so bad that between the heat, the ticks, and the snakes and poison oak, I'm not going to want to crawl back in here until probably, you know, right before bow season starts in September. So about to wrap today's excitement up and check in with you if I make it to the car. Made it back to the car in one piece. Concludes today's activities out here in the beautiful outdoors. Maybe go home and mow a little bit this afternoon, I don't know. But tell you a little story. The guys here that manage the property, that put in the food plots and take care of the roads, they're hypersensitive about people coming in here. They think they're going to be poaching. And turkey season is closed here, even though it's opened everywhere else in the state. And every time I've come in here, I've walked out and there's been a game warden parked right by my car. And they've been really nice and pleasant guys and really friendly. But the guys that take care of the place and do the food plots are hypersensitive. And every time they seen my car, they thought I was in here turkey hunting. So I made this today. Just to make sure they knew I wasn't in here turkey hunting.